Rob Evans. I'm the head basketball coach at University of Mississippi in Oxford, Mississippi. I'm here with the Panasonic Clinic, talking basketball and clinicianing the high school coaches over at Trinity High School. Okay, I'm originally from Hobbs, New Mexico, and Hobbs High School. I played for the legendary Ralph Tasker, who has won over 1,000 games in high schools in the Hall of Fame. From there, I went to Lubbock Christian Junior College, where I was an All-American at Lubbock Christian Junior College, and then went on to New Mexico State University, where I played for Lou Henson, who is the head basketball coach at Illinois now, and captained two of his NC2A bound teams. The first year where we played Elvin Hayes in University of Houston, and the second year we played a guy by the name of Lou Alcindor. And then I stayed on and was his assistant for 7 years at New Mexico State University. 1975, I went on to Texas Tech University, where I assisted Gerald Myers for 15 years. The last 2 years, I have been assistant to Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State University, and has recently been named the head basketball coach at the University of Mississippi.
As you look back at your career in sports, who were some of those great role models that you still remember, even as today?
There's not any question about that. First of all, my high school mentor, Ralph Tasker, was a tremendous role model, and that's the reason that I got into coaching, because I saw the influence that he had on young men and young people in general. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of being able to shape and mold young people's lives. And I have done that over the last 25 years, hopefully, and have had a lot of them that have come back and talked to me about that. It's great to be able to watch their successes, and then to watch their families as they grow. That was one of them. A number of Lou Henson is another one who I played for in college. It was a great role model and still is. And of course, Eddie Sutton, I think, is one of the tremendous basketball coaches in the country. But not only is he a tremendous basketball coach, but he's a tremendous person. Has been very influential in a lot of people's lives, and I think that's what coaching's all about. You know, the ones and losses, they go away. You know, you forget about those after a year. But the friends that you make and the lives that you touch, those are things that are remembered for a long, long time.
What are some of the major changes that you've seen evolve in the sport of coaching?
A number of changes from a technical standpoint. Of course, the three-point shot has come into being, and also the clock that speeds up the game. You know, it's a lot more physical basketball game now, as is shown in the pros, but it's also in college basketball and even in high school now. It used to be a more finesse basketball game. It used to be a little bit more technical basketball game, but now it's gotten to the point to where it's a player's basketball game. You still coach, but it's a lot of it's individual efforts from that standpoint. But also from the other standpoint, personnel standpoint, I think that the kids have a lot more freedom. They're a lot more inquisitive. You don't just get a chance to tell a kid now, as it used to be, you do this because I say do it. Now it comes to the point where they ask you questions why, and I think that's good. I think it's good for them to know reasons. I think that the game has evolved, and the kids have evolved to a point to where it's a growing situation, and I just am just happy that I'm able to be a part of that. I think one of the biggest challenges is to keep young men and young women on the right track as far as their off-the-floor habits, the drug problems that you have now, not only in the athletics, but it's also in society. And I think that's a challenge for a coach to try to keep people on the straight and narrow. That's one thing. The other thing is that it's such a competitive atmosphere now that young men and women have to get to a point to where they understand that their academics are so important. And I think we've stressed a lot of academics all the way through the elementary school, the junior high schools, and high schools, and college now, because if you don't succeed on the academic field, then you're not going to succeed in life, and it's just going to be a tough situation for you out there. So I think that's a challenge to make sure that we maximize each kid's ability on the floor, but we also maximize their ability in the classroom.
Coach, I want to get out of school and I want to go into coaching. What kind of advice would you give those kids today? I
tell them it's a very demanding field. It's a very competitive field, but it's really demanding. you know, you don't have an 8-to-5 job. It's really a 24-hour a day job, and it's a year-round job. You're affecting a lot of people's lives, so you've got to make sure that what you tell them is straight facts. But be prepared to work long and hard hours, and be prepared for a lot of successes and a lot of highs, but also be prepared for a lot of lows, because your life is on television. And, you know, a lot of people are watching you, and a lot of people are going to be excited about you, but there's also going to be a lot of criticism. So you got to be prepared for that. And if you're willing to accept the good with the bad, then it's a great field to be in. If you're not, then you probably need to get into another field. Well, I have a tremendous family. My wife Carolyn and I have been married for over 20 years, and she is in the field of child development and has done a tremendous job of developing my children. While I've been on the road quite a bit as an assistant coach. And I have a son, Damon, who's 18 years old, just graduated from high school, that will be enrolling at Ole Miss in the field of accounting and going on to law school. And I have a daughter, Amber, that's will be 14 years old in a few months, and she's a violinist and a dancer, and I enjoy spending time with them when I have time. But I also enjoy spending time on the golf course when I have some time. I enjoy golf. It's a very relaxing sport. I enjoy fishing when I have time. I don't worry about catching a lot of fish, but I just enjoy the relaxation of it, and just getting away and just getting a chance to reflect on a lot of different things. So I would say that probably my family first, and then my church, and then my hobbies are golf and fishing. It's good to be here this afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit about full court defense. We'll talk a little bit about our half court, just our numbering systems on our defense, and then we'll also talk a little bit about run and jump, and may even talk about a little bit about scramble defense. I think Bill knows a little bit more about scramble than all of us. Since we didn't run this, we didn't run scramble defense, but Bill scouted Kansas. Every time we played him in Kansas, run this scramble defense, and I think it'll be something that you might enjoy learning and listening to. First off, at Oklahoma State University, we tried, because of the different coliseums that we played in, almost all of them were pretty good size, and they were full, and it's loud. You know, you go to University of Kansas, and they got about 15,000, I guess. You go to Iowa State, they got about the same amount, and every stadium's full. So we tried to number our defensive systems so that we could call them, or we could put them on cue cards and show them, because you couldn't always communicate verbally with the players. And basically, most of the times, we tried to do that with the point guard, and he would call the defenses. Now, the numbering system that we would have would tell you which part of the floor we're going to cover. 40 would be full court. 40 would be full court. If we said 40, then that's full court. Right there, we're going to pick up full court. If we said 30, that's going to be three-quarter court. Pretty much right here at the top of the key. If we said 20, that's half court. And if we said 10 defense, then that's right here. That's right in here. The head of the circle. Now, once we determined that, then we went to a coloring code that would tell us whether we're in man for man or whether we're in zone. Anytime we said blue, that meant we were in man for man. Blue would be man for man. Red would be zone. So in other words, if we said, okay, we're in 40 red, that means we're in full court, pressing defense, and we're going to trap. We're going to zone it. It's going to be trapping type defense. If we said 40 blue, that means we're in full court, but we're man for man. Now, we still may run out of that. We still may trap out of that, but basically we're in man for man. If we said 30, that was going to be, of course, three-quarters court. 30 blue, three-quarters court. We can pick them up three-quarters court, man for man. Now, if we said green, that meant that we're in run and jump. Anytime we said green, that's our run and jump defense. Okay? Anybody have any questions?
How do you go about these freshmen, junior college recruits, indoctrinating them into this system?
Again, it's just every day in practice, Tom. It's just every day in practice. Just telling them we'd talk to them about, okay, 40, and we'd ask them. We have a lot of chalk talk situations. Before practice, we always have a lot of pre-practice talks, and we have notebooks. We have notebooks, and we tell these guys they've got to study. You guys got to read your notebooks. If you don't read your notebooks and you don't study, you're not going to play, because one thing, as Coach Self said yesterday, and I think Coach Pennell probably said the thing, Eddie Sutton team is not going to beat. We're not going to beat yourselves, and you're not going to get in the game unless you know exactly what we want. So if we ask him, say, okay, we're in 30 blue. What does that mean? If a guy can't tell you, then we take him out of practice. Say, you know, you go over here until you can think about what we're talking about. Somebody else take his spot. So it makes them think. It makes the guy think. Have to think. Okay. Now, if we're in, say for instance, we're in blue 10. If you're in blue 10, that means you're in man for man right here. Okay, this is what we call our C zone. If we're in C zone, if we're in blue 10 and they're in C zone, then we'll let them catch the basketball there if we're in blue 10. Okay? This is our B zone right here. And this is A zone. If you're in B zone and we're contesting all, like we did this morning, we're contesting all next receiver passes. We're in deny. We're in deny position. We're in deny position anytime you're in the B zone. Now, if you're in the A zone, that means that somebody has penetrated the defense, penetrated the B zone, so now we're umbrelling it, we're collapsing, making them throw it back out like we went over this morning. Any questions? And now let's set up, if you will, let's set up, we're gonna try to set up and run our 40 defenses. 40 blue and 40 red. You guys want to set up, and let me try to show them. We need, how many people we're gonna need on that? We need about, we won't need 10 people, will we? 8 people, give me 8 people. Eight, you need a ball. Okay, I'm a firm believer in this defense, and the reason I'm a firm believer in it is because I was raised on it from a kid, from a 6-year-old. Being from Hobbs, New Mexico, a lot of you know about the pressing defense that Ralph Tasker at Hobbs, New Mexico has run for a number of years, and he's won over 1,000 basketball games in his career. And his philosophy is you're going to put pressure on at all points, and I believe in that. I believe in it because I want to dictate the tempo of the game. And the reason that you run 40 defense is because you want to change the tempo, or you want to speed the game up, something of that nature. Now, if we're in 40 red, that means we're going to trap out of this thing. Okay? Who we got on offense? Who we got on defense? Offensive players right there. Where's defense? Okay, we got defense right here. Number one, the guy on the throw-in man. His job, his number one job is he's going to get as big as he can right here, hands up to make it a tough pass, to make it to where they cannot throw long. We're going to make sure they cannot throw long. That's number one. So he's going to get as big as he can. If this guy runs the baseline, whatever, he's going to continue to stay as big as he can. That's his job. This guy's job here is, if we set up here, he's going to try to force him to the corner here. If he can force him to the corner, that's exactly where we want him. Because what that does, if we force him to the corner right here, come to the corner. If he forces him to the corner, we've eliminated, the sideline right here is one defensive man force. That's one defensive man force. He's eliminated his options of where he can go with the basketball. Okay? All right. What Coach Self is going to do, get up again, set up again. What Coach Self is going to do is, he's going to get up here, no matter where this guy sets up, he sets up here, he's going to make sure he forces him one way. He gets up on his shoulder, he makes sure that he goes one way. He's not going to get up and play him in front to where he's giving him an option on which way to go. He's giving an option. He's going to say, hey, if you're going to go, you're going that way. All right, he's going to force him that way, and generally the offensive man will take the easiest way out. If that's the easiest way out, the least resistance, that's where he's going to go. So we force him here. All right, ball comes in. Stay right there. Stand right there. Or stand right where you are. Okay, Bill's going to get him. He's not going to let him go down the sideline. He's going to eliminate all sideline penetration. He's here. He's giving him a little bit of slack, but he's not going to let him go. The throw-in man is going to take a drop. His first move is, when he's on the guy here and the ball comes in, he's got to take a drop and get as deep as a basketball like we talked about this morning. Now, once he gets that drop, then he'll go over and trap. Take your drop, then he goes over and traps. He is not going to let him penetrate back baseline, on the baseline. And they're going to be toe-to-toe right here, not letting him split them. Because from an offensive standpoint, we're saying if we can split you, then we've eliminated two defensive players. So we're not going to let you split. Okay? If we got right here, we got a safety man right here. The safety man is going to take away this pass. He's going to get up and play and make sure that pass can't come here. But where's my other defensive man? Defensive man right here, he's going to get off and play, take a 45 here and play right in here. Make sure, we'll let him have that pass right there. But we're going to take away anything in this area right here. We've got another man down here that's not here right now, and he will just start, come on ball side, and he will make sure that there's no pass can be thrown long. He's playing second safety. Okay, let's set it up and show it again. Get as big as you can right here. Make it tough to throw long. He comes in here. Be able to take a drop first, take a drop, and then come over and trap. If this guy comes over, you're coming with him. We'll let him have this pass back here. That's the pass that we're going to let him have. If they want that pass, we'll let him have that one. Question? Now, when the pass comes back, if the pass comes back, okay, you're going to go. Bill's going to release and take a 45 right here. You're going to take a drop and cut him off here. You're going here, okay? We're going to trap right here. Bill's playing right here. Russ is coming over, playing safety right here. Okay? All right. Any questions on that so far?
Okay, you say let him have this pass.
Yeah, let him have the pass back there. We're going to let him have that pass. Some people don't do that. Some people don't do that, but we're going to let him have that pass because bottom line is we got a clock anyway. We're not absolutely trying to steal a basketball. We're not trying to steal a basketball. We're trying to buy time. We're trying to speed them up. Once they get down here, if they're a pretty deliberate team and the clock's already counting on them, they're not going to have a whole lot of time to set up their offense. Okay, now once we get this trap in here, one thing in this trap, if you're going to be a pressing team, you got to make sure that you're not reaching and grabbing and fouling. Because you're not going to steal the basketball in the trap most of the time. The steals are going to come on the pass. One more time, set up. Trap's coming. Hits him right here. Takes a drop. Trap him. You cut this pass off. You cut that one off here. You took a 45, cut that off. We'll let him have that. We got a safety man back here. Ball comes out of there. You take a drop. Bill's coming short, 45. You got trap coming. You're going to keep him on the baseline. Russ is playing safety. Ball's on that side. He's got to go over and cut that pass off. Okay? We got. Depending on how quick he is. Depending on how quick. If this guy goes up there, it just depends on how quick he is. That's a judgment thing. Okay? All right. Anybody have any questions on that? Russ and Bill, you have anything to add?
What's the back guy do? Ball change side?
He's got to change side. He's changing side. He's coming up. Where the ball is here, first of all, his first reaction is when he's out there, he's not going to let any pass come here. He's playing in between the head of the circle here. He's here. Ball comes that side. If there's a man over here, he's got to come over here and be ready to take this. If a guy goes over there, that's okay. Yeah, he's an anticipator. He's safety man. He's an anticipator. All right? It depends basically on their offensive set. Till the ball comes in bounds, and once the ball comes in bounds, then we're in red defense. We're in 40 red. The question was, are we setting strong trap when the ball goes back to the middle? Oh, it's going to be a strong trap. We're going to press. It's going to be strong. We're not going to be reaching and grabbing him, but we're going to try to trap him, and we're going to try to keep him in that trap.
How many traps you set back and forth? These two, if they get out of that second.
Once they make a penetrating dribble or penetrating pass, we're getting back and playing solid defense. We're playing solid defense. Once they get out of the trap, we're playing solid defense.
When they're trapping underneath the basket like that, who's responsible for that pass to that person over there?
Safety man right over here. This guy over here. Okay, he'll take it. Sideline to sideline. He'll go sideline, sideline. Middle and the sideline. He's going to go sideline, sideline. Safety man's got to go sideline, sideline. Quickest athlete's got to be there. Okay. Any other questions on that? 40 red.
Determine your safety on the first pass.
Do you have a man that goes down there?
Yeah. Always going there. He's always going safety. Exactly, exactly. We'll designate who's going to be on the ball, and we'll designate who's going to be safety men. And who's our pressures up here?
Will this backman lead match up on the inbound?
He'll just get back here and he'll match up. If there's a guy in his area, then he's going to get with him. If he's half court, he's coming up with him. If he's half court coming over, he's on strong side. If he's on strong side, he's coming up with him. The weak side guy's got to be ready to get back.
So that can change.
It can change. It can change.
If both guys come up, he comes with them.
Strong side guy, if this guy, okay, if we got here, if you're right here, and this guy, she comes up, he's coming, this guy's releasing back. This guy here on the weak side, this safety man back here is getting back here and covering. Okay? And it'd be just the opposite if it was on the other side. Just the opposite. We always got to have a safety man.
Are your two up men, if they go instead of pick, are they staying on the same side of the court?
Depends. You're saying if they, the question was, if the two presses up, if these guys go set a screen, set that up and set a screen. If they set a screen, then they may switch that. They may switch that. They switch it, they just talk, verbalize, and switch it. There's not really any need to be trying to work to get through that because all we're trying to do is buy some time anyway. We're going to trap it. Okay? Any questions on 40 red? Just stay with the man right there. The question is, set that up right there, Bill. Set that up. The question is, if this guy runs out of bounds here and he throws to him out of bounds and then steps in bounds, what happens? Let's set that up. That's a good question. All right, run the base. He runs, he throws. That guy just picks him up, and he stays with him. Okay, this guy right here, you would pick, that's your man right there, so you pick him up. And this guy stay with his man, yeah. Okay? That answer your question? Question?
I feel like whenever they reverse the ball, about over here, just go through that.
Okay, reversing the basketball. Set it up. Set up. Let's go through everything. Okay, he comes, sets the trap. Step back. You take a drop. 40. Trap him. All right, ball comes back. He's coming here. He's covering there. He's coming, taking short 45 right here, covering you. Is that what you want to know?
He just takes over the position of the guy.
Exactly. That was with you. Rotation. It's just that rotation's that way. Any other questions on 40 red? Go to Coach Newman.
We're going to have Coach Self of Oklahoma State University this morning talking to us about things that have been requested over the weekend. The scramble defense that was mentioned yesterday that the University of Kansas uses so successful.
Do we have any volunteers? Really need 10 to do this. We got 2. We got 4.
walk.
Just gonna walk through this, guys. We're running through it.
Burning gun.
Let's say 1, 2, 3. You got point guard, 2 wings, 2 inside. Okay. The other guy is passing by.
There's something that you know, we play primarily man-to-man defense, but something that we'll do out of this, and this may sound a little confusing, we'll trap at our half-court defense if it's a call, but we'll also trap like spontaneous if there's a cross that involves basketball. Okay? What I mean by that, let's say right now, he's dribbling over this way. Let's say he comes over the top. We teach our guys offensively, never come on top of basketball. If he comes over the top and hands off, we'll go 2 times this guy right here. We'll go 2 times this guy right here. Automatic trap. Okay? A lot of times if there's a screen on the basketball, trap. You see pros do that all the time. If there's a screen on the basketball, we'll trap. Well, you're saying right now, you're saying right now that the trap is this guy's probably going to be open. But if this guy flares out right here, everybody has to be alert. Because what we're going to do now, this offside guy, who's in this defensive position right here, he sees this, he'll come over here and shoot this gap just like this. And you 2 guys are zone up the back here. Okay? That would be what we consider a spontaneous trap. Any trap that involves basketball. The best, the ideal place to do it would of course be down in the corner type area. So if you have a handoff or a guy, an offensive player makes a mistake, let's say right here, he's in trouble. He's in trouble, parking on that car. Come on, that car. This guy's in trouble. He's picked up his dribble. Everybody's yelling, dead. Okay? Everybody jumps to the basketball line, and he comes over the top right here. Let's say he hands off right here, that's a great time to come shoot shot right here. Okay, that would be what we would. It's kind of a scramble, but it's really more of a spontaneous type of trap. Okay? Now let's get back here. Get back to the normal spot. Let's say they run a 3 out, 2 in, the offense, and every time they pass the point to the wing, they pass and they go away. And we know that. So what Pennell may do, this could be a call or this could be done spontaneous. Vernon's done a good job right there on it. Start going away. He's dropping, and then he just may come double team the basketball right here. If that happens, coach here is going to take away the next pass. He's coming with his man. And what you've done, you've left the furthest pass away open. Okay? Coach is in a position, the way that we teach it, he's in a position where he's going to shoot this gap right here. Okay? You guys are so big in the trap and doing such a good job. The fact that you're not going to be able to see this guy, and if you are, you're not going to be delivered. Red here, 2 passes away. He's a center fielder. He's in this, what you like to call it. He's in this situation right here, but he knows if there's an error made, he can run through a pass to go ahead and do it. Jason, you're going to go ahead and play your man, head up on the post. If you see a trap situation, try to run it. Try to get around him where they can't deliver the ball. Okay, at least 3/4 man around, not necessarily total, but at least in a situation like that. Okay, let's say the offside guy flashes high, which is what most teams will probably be taught to do. If he flashes high right here, we're going to go ahead and deny the flash post in this situation like this. Once again, we're leaving the furthest pass open. Okay? That would be like a spontaneous trap the first pass type of deal. Kansas does that all the time. And that's exactly how they cover. And you think, well, somebody's wide open on the weak side. Well, yeah, that is wide open. But it's not near as wide open for a guy that's got 2 guys hanging all over him, tracing the basketball, and and let's say he's already used his dribble and he's in a panic type situation. Okay? If they get out of that, the way we cover it, we'll scramble back to our man-to-man. Question? Let's say that they do get the ball. Coach is playing this situation right here. Let's say they do get the ball. Coach may have to go by the time right here because we're not going to run out and leave a postman right here to go guard anybody on the wing. We'd rather give him this shot and run out and be able to throw the ball straight inside. So what Brett would do, Brett would be in this situation right here to do, he just has to love that like this. Buy some time, Coach will relocate back, everybody get back. Okay? It doesn't always work, it's a risk, it's a gamble, but sometimes late in the game we need something good to happen, or you feel like the team's having a hard time handling your pressure, that would be a good time to do something like that. Okay? Something else that Kansas does. Let's say Fred touch the ball. Fred across that. Getting a high, getting a high line. Kansas does this. This is very unorthodox. Let's say this is their offensive set. Let's say he kicks this side before he goes. When he does this, okay, the person defending the highest guy on the floor will then come up and trap the basketball. Okay? Kind of orthodox. Let's say right here that Vern is the highest man on the floor he can. Okay? When he dribbles across half court, he'll go trap the basketball. As hard as he possibly can in an area like this. When that occurs, he's wide open, right? We're going to show him a pass and we'll take him left. We're playing defense like this. When that occurs, shoot this guy. Just like this. Ready? You'll rotate out and take this man. Rotate, take this area. And then Coach Newman would be in this situation right here. He would be in this situation right here thinking, well, if they make a long pass here, I can run through it and steal it. But also knowing that, hey, there's somebody behind it too. But we're forcing the team, we're giving the team a look, we're showing them an open man, and then we're taking it away. So, as Trent brings it across, you'll see a lot of times this happens. He's back to your normal spot. He'll come up and track. Come on. And then right there, he can run through that pass just like that. Okay? The way Kansas does it after that, they stay and scramble the whole possession. And it's just kamikaze defense. The one thing that you always take into consideration, though, they never leave the hole unprotected. If Jason goes out there, okay, pass goes there. Come trap. Shoot that gap, we'll rotate over here like this. Coach Newman's in a good spot. He's putting the difference back there playing halfway. Exactly like our trap last time. Let's say, shoot that gap right there. Now what do we give over? The longest pass. Let's say we get the ball back here. Okay? Straight back, cover the hole, so Newman will come. Mark, Newman over here, take it. You trap it. Shoot the gap, brother. In this situation right here, leaving the longest pass over. Okay? What is that? His buddies are. Okay. So does anybody have, I know you're supposed to name now, so I can do this. Does anybody have any questions about this? It's pretty complicated. Let's go over it again. And now let's say that Art is down here on baseline. They're in a high post situation like this. Okay? He comes this way, takes the highest man on the floor. Come on, rotate up. That situation, Brett, you'll rotate all the way up. Vernon, you'll move up the floor. Coach will be in a safe position right here. Okay? Still yet you think, this guy's wide open. Okay, make that pass. Go ahead and throw it to me. Oh, plenty of time to get back. Okay? Okay, let's say now that he dribbles out of it some way. Come, Fred, he dribbles out. You guys get with it. Everybody rotate over. Fred, drop. Rotate over to the next man. We got the exact same situation. Leaving the furthest pass over. Okay? I don't know if this is the coaches or teams in your league. I'm sure there is a bunch of training kind of teams. Maybe not exactly like this, very similar.
It takes time to prepare for it. takes time away from what we would like to be prepared for what we want to do, to have to prepare for what they're doing.
That's exactly, his point was, what it forces the team to do that doesn't see this every day in practice is prepare for it, rather than worry about what they do. So that's a very valid point. Kansas, you got to prepare for this, you got to prepare for the sideline break, you got to prepare for the secondary break, the 1-3, 1-half short trap, the box set offense. By the time you finish preparing for all that, it's time to go home. Because we've already practiced now. So it does. If the team is comfortable with it, I'm not saying that that's the only way to do it. Our way is basically you do 10 things and you do those 10 things well. Kansas, they may throw 25 things at you. But somehow they find practice all well. They got great enough players that they do them all well. Question?
I'm sure that Roy Williams got this from me.
Right.
And Eddie Fogler, manager, got does the same thing. So what Eddie Fogler does different is they'll trap one time. After that one trap, they don't get anything. They're back in the straight thing.
His point was that Eddie Fogler just trapped once and they get out of it. Kansas is, and that may be due to athletic ability. Kansas, and I'm not for sure on North Carolina, I haven't watched enough film to really know, but Kansas will stay in the thing the whole possession. So, as soon as Kansas scores, Adonis Jordan, does anybody know who Adonis Jordan is, their point guard? He'll do this. And his teammates are alive. That means, hey, we're going to scramble this whole possession. Okay? They'll come down, they'll make it look just like a man-to-man, and boom, all of a sudden, when they get the ball in the scoring area, everybody starts firing. They'll stay in that one possession. And the reason they don't stay in it longer than that is because, to be honest, it's not the sound of defense. You can give up some easy baskets doing that. But they just want to get you all dribbled because the last time out, you say, okay, we're going to come down here and we're going to run curl double for Byron. And we're going to get Byron shot at the blocks. And Lloyd Williams is saying, well, I bet they try to run play for Byron. So we're going to scramble this first possession where you cannot worry about anything except just not throwing the ball. Byron's plays off. They don't put their big guy a chance to get a foul because Byron's not going to touch the ball. And then next time down the floor, how many teams are smart enough to go back and look to play forward? None of them. So, changing defense after timeouts, great move, if that's your strength. Some teams it's not your strength. Question?
You said if you trap once, you scramble back, you retreat to the lane, you do that umbrella thing you talked about, and you discuss regular.
Well, we'll retreat to the lane. When we scramble back, JD, we'll retreat to the lane and we'll go in an inside-out angle. Like, let's say I'm guarding the ball right here. Let's say the ball's right here, and I'm trapping, and we throw the ball back out to the point. You guys go ahead and drop it off. Right? We throw the ball back out to Trent, just for example. I'm not going to run. Everybody's not just going to turn and run at Trent like this. I'm going to take the inside-out angle where I come back in the umbrella area and then close out on a man like this. Okay? Everything's inside out. The reason being that is, if I come at him at this angle right here, what can Trent do? He can beat me off the dribble. But if I come at him at the inside-out angle like this, then I'll close him back out and I've at least got him covered. Does that answer your question? Anybody else? Okay, guys,
That's it.
that's it.
Have you shown them double curl for Byron?
Curl double? Yeah.
Right.
Want me to show them?
Any other questions for Coach Self? This is going to be your last opportunity to pick his brain. And we're going to pick Coach Pennell's brain.
Okay. Good morning. I hope that first session this morning went real well. Looking forward to the rest of the morning with us, and I'm not sure. I guess we go till 11:30, and probably some of you are wanting to cut out early. If that's the case, that's fine. I have to go to Six Flags today, so I will. I'm going to be in Dallas all day. It doesn't matter to me. Today is my anniversary, so we're going to Six Flags, and a whole 6 years. It seems like 30 sometimes, but I got a sweet wife, and she's a great coach's wife, and that's what makes it real enjoyable as far as coaching goes. This morning, I want to visit with you really the philosophy, really the trademark of Eddie Sutton for his 30-some-odd years of coaching, and that's what's called the 3 Ds. And they are this, the 3 Ds. They are discipline, dedication, and obviously defense. We call those the 3 Ds. I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of them. First of all, let me preface all this by saying I think it's really good if you have some sort of a, I guess this is some sort of a gimmick that you use and base your team around. For instance, we're going to the University of Mississippi, and I don't know if you know any of the history of the basketball program at the University of Mississippi, but they've been to the NCAA tournament one time in the school's history. They've played basketball there for 84 years, and they've only had 30 winning seasons. Their best record against an SEC opponent is against Florida, and they've won 46% of the time. They've played the University of Kentucky 85 times, and they've lost 77 of them. So we're going into a place, if we could go 500, they may elect Rob the governor of the state. And there is not a lot of pressure. In fact, we have a lot of people, a lot of alumni that will come up and they'll say, boy, we just want to be competitive. We just don't want LSU to beat us by 60 like they did last year. Now, that's the bad news about it. Rob didn't tell me all this till I accepted the job and I was down there. And actually, I had to look it up on my own going through the media guide, and I started looking at some of those records, and I thought they were misprints. But there was no way that a team could beat another one 77 out of 85 times, even if it was Kentucky. I thought they'd get lucky sometime and win a few more than just the 8 ball games. But my point is this. You're going into a situation, we're going into a situation where these kids, first of all, have no confidence in themselves. And when I say all this, and this will probably get in the hands of the regime that was there before me, I'm not putting them down. I think it is going to be some hard work. I don't think, we're not naive enough to believe that we can just move Stillwater, Oklahoma to Oxford, Mississippi, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. But the good news is they have some talent there. They won 11 ball games last year, lost 8 by 5 points or less. They got the leading scorer in the conference back, and got some pretty good talent there. And along with those, we had some great news that happened at LSU by Mr. O'Neal going pro. That didn't hurt us, because we don't have to play against him twice. And then Arkansas lost quite a few people. So in the Western Division of the SEC, it's a real good time for us to go in there. Now, I say all this to just let you know that the kids, we really believe the key to these 3 Ds and what is lacking at Ole Miss with our players is this one right here. To me, that's the most important of the 3, even more important than defense, because discipline is what really leads to the other 2 being successful. And let me just say this. If you have a strong disciplinary program, then more than likely you've had some success somewhere. Now, maybe sometimes in high school, my dad coached high school ball for 26 years, and sometimes you just don't have the talent. Let's face it, you just don't have the kids that can help you get over the hump. But even so, even when your talent's not quite as good, if you are a disciplined ball club, you still win some games you shouldn't win, simply because of that. And we carry it even to the fact that if we believe if kids are not going to class, if they're missing tutor assignments, if they're missing weight workouts, if they're late for class, if they're late for practice, then there is no way when there's 2 minutes to go in the game and we're up a couple points that we can expect that kid to be disciplined enough to take a good shot, to make the right pass, and make the right decision. We really believe there's carryover from off the court to on the court. You know, Al McGuire, when he used to coach, he used to say, I don't care what they do off the court, just as long as they produce on the court. And that's a little bit of a sad statement, but also I think it's a statement that probably today it can't be done quite as well. Now, you see some kids that you say, man, they've got all kinds of problems off the court and they still are able to play and do a good job. But if you really analyze it, they're undisciplined on the court too. And they make some mistakes simply because they don't have the discipline it takes. Coach Sutton is a stickler for this. These 3 things appear on our practice uniforms. Discipline will be on one side of the practice jersey, dedication will be on the other side, and across the seat of the pants it'll say defense. So every single day our players are reminded of the 3 Ds. In fact, on our championship rings from the 1990-91 Big 8 championship, right down at the bottom it says discipline, dedication, and defense. Everything that we do with our program is based on these 3 things. I usually tell kids when I'm able to do basketball camps, I love to talk about discipline because I think that that's one of the things that has broke down in America more than anything. There's just not much discipline anymore. You teachers are strapped. You can't discipline anybody because you don't have the backing from the administration. Or you can't discipline because now there's going to be a lawsuit or there's going to be something. And the good old-fashioned, if you do wrong, you pay for it, has really gone by the wayside. And that's one reason I think that we got problems like we do in the country. And I'm not up here this morning, this is Sunday morning, I'm not up here preaching a message. But I do firmly believe in that. And I believe that kids are crying out for discipline. Our guys, when we got there, the first thing Coach Evans did, he put them in a study hall, which they weren't required to do. They had to go to study hall at least 8 hours a week, set aside from their class time. He also implemented a weight program where they had to go at least 3 times or maybe 4 times a week. And you know what? Those guys were coming by the office, honest and truthfully thanking him for the discipline. Thanks, Coach. We really needed that. Because a lot of them don't have the guidance or in using this term, the discipline at that age to make themselves go study, to make themselves go get stronger. They need a push. And if you think back to when you were 18, 19 years old, we were all the same way. We just weren't quite driven like we should have, because when you're 18, 19, first of all, you think you're going to live forever. You think your old waistline's going to stay the same. You think you're always going to be able to get up and run and jump and never hurt. And we know that that doesn't happen. And even from the little defense I did yesterday, I'm feeling it back here in my hamstrings today. But our point is that the discipline part of the game is vital, and especially the way we play. Everything we talked about yesterday defensively, when you all were talking, someone asked the question, if we cross screen, how do we defend that? Well, if it goes back to if we don't have pressure on the ball, the way we defend, you're going to get caught. You're going to get, someone's going to be open. The way we play defense, if we don't have help side and we're out there in the passing lane, we're going to get backdoored for layup. So it takes discipline on those kids' part to understand I absolutely have to be here at a certain time in the right place. And the way I always define this with kids, with discipline, is doing the right thing at the right time, whether anyone notices or not. And that's the way I always define discipline. Doing the right thing at the right time, whether anyone notices or not. Because you all have coached what I call the Eddie Haskells. If you remember Leave It to Beaver, you all have coached the Eddie Haskells. Thank you, Coach. You are a great guy. You are a great coach. And they turn around and they're just knifing you. But what they do, they appear to be disciplined in front of you. Yet if you turned your back on them, and I know you all have coached them, you probably wouldn't turn your back on them. But discipline, doing the right thing at the right time, even when no one else is watching. You can have the discipline part of it, but you also still need number 2, which is the dedication. And the dedication is just daily going out and doing the same thing over and over and over. These things are really closely related. The Coach Sutton will tell our kids that they need to be dedicated to the game during the season. We don't ask them year-round just to eat, drink, and sleep basketball, but he does ask them when the season starts. He'll go in and say, now guys, he says, we have to curtail social activities for the next 6 months. And that's the price you pay for being an athlete. You'll be rewarded by the press, by the fans, all that, but you have to set aside this next 6 months for basketball season. You have to be dedicated to that. You have to be dedicated to this program. You got to be dedicated enough to say, even if I am a social drinker, I'm going to cut that out for the season. And we don't believe in that. And probably most of you know of Coach Sutton's problems at Kentucky. And I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that the man has made a total turnaround in his life and has been able to influence the lives of our young players simply from the hard times that he's been through. And I don't know if any of you got a chance to ask him some of those questions yesterday about Kentucky. Some people are a little hesitant. But basically the way, and I'll just sum this up for him, is that sometimes you put trust in people that maybe you shouldn't trust. And it backfires on you. And you as leaders, and me hopefully someday as a leader, will have the opportunity to oversee a program. And it's very important that you have trustworthy people around you. It is vital. And I will tell you from my standpoint, from being in the college ranks just the short amount of time, that I've been around some guys that I'm telling you what, I would not want my son or my daughter to play for. Absolutely would not. And these are people in high places, and it's kind of scary. And that's why myself as a coach, I want to be a role model where kids can look to me for help. Not that I'm their best buddy, because sometimes you're not your best buddy. Sometimes you got to bust their chops. But that's for their good. But the dedication, we ask our kids to pay the price. I don't know how it is in your schools, but I think what has happened even since I got out of high school, which was, I guess, 12, 13 years ago, the thing that I find more than anything else is that kids nowadays, and I said this earlier, they do not respect authority, number one. But also, I don't see kids that are as dedicated. And I say this to these guys here, I hope that you're dedicated. I hope you go out and play 5 to 6 hours a day. Because if you want to be a player, that's the way you do it. We see so much television. We see Michael Jordan and when Magic Johnson and those guys played, they make it look so easy that kids, all they want to do is go out and have the glamour. Our kids are a lot the same way. They like being on ESPN. They like meeting Dick Vitale. They like all these different things. But some of them don't want to come over during the day and spend 20, 30 minutes just working on a shot. They don't want to come over during the day and lift the weights. They don't want to pay the price, and they don't want to be dedicated. And that's the same all over. But I think it's our responsibility as a coach to make sure that they're dedicated and make them understand that that is what leads to a good program and a good team. And then finally, we build everything on defense, and I don't have to elaborate on that a lot. But here's the way that I really like to explain defense to kids in basketball. I don't know if you've really thought about it this way, but in every other sport, there's an equalizer on defense. And what I mean by that, in baseball, what do they give you? They give you a glove. You can catch the ball. In football, man, they let you hit, they let you grab, you can do anything. Hockey, they give the goalie a pad and a stick. Every other sport, there's an equalizer. Basketball, you can't touch them, supposedly. That's a foul. They're running forwards, you're running backwards. They know where they're going, you don't know where they're going. It's difficult to play defense. A lot of people don't want to play defense because it's discouraging. I mean, if a guy is just wearing, and you can play the greatest defense in the world, have a hand in a guy's face, and he still makes the shot. Well, it's our job as coaches, if a kid does that, we say, great defense. You were right where we wanted you to be. He just hit the shot. There's no way he can hit that shot consistently. But my point is simply this. Defense in basketball, I think, is one of the most difficult things to do because there's very little glamour in it. Very rarely do you pick up the paper and it says, John, Smith had a great defensive game. He really played some good defense. He stayed in that stance all night. Boy, he was in perfect position on help side. They never write about that. They just write so-and-so hit 30 points. And I think that's what we fight a lot of times. But you can build some pride in your defense, and that's what our kids do. They enjoy it. They really do. And they take a pride in it, and they want to shut people out. And if we ever come to the locker room at halftime and someone's wearing someone out, honest and truthfully, we have guys that say, Coach, let me guard him. Let me guard Anthony Peeler at Missouri. I want to guard him. And they want the challenge. And if you can get them to believe in that defense is what wins championships, and as the old saying goes, offense sells the tickets, but defense wins championships is really true. If you can get them to believe in that concept, I guarantee you, you can shut people out, and even when you shoot the ball lousy, you're in every game because of the defense. And that's what we try to preach to the kids. Whatever you use, if it's a 3Ds, we're going to take that with us to Oxford. We're going to paint that in our new locker room and try to let these guys understand that this is what we're going to build this program on. Whatever you use, though, I think this keeps it fresh in our guys' mind what Oklahoma State basketball is about, or hopefully what Ole Miss basketball is about. And everything we do is built on these things. Any questions about that? That's just a little side thing that we do, and if you have something that goes and works for you, and everybody's got their little gimmicks, I think that's fine. But I just want to share that with you this morning. Any questions? Okay. A couple things, and here's what I want to do is kind of tie some of this stuff together, but now Bill, I understand, talked about some post drills. Is that right? Did he talk anything about the guard drills or the swing drill? Okay, good. Well, I'm going to work with you on that this morning and let you know some of the things we do. What we do every single day of practice, we break up into guards, and we call them swing men, which you obviously can play guard or forward, and the posts. The posts are at one end, the guards and the swing men are at the other. And we will spend about 10 to 15 minutes on drills, and Bill showed you some of the post drills we did, but today I'm going to talk about some of the guard drills. The first thing we do is this. I have you two guys come out here. I don't know if these cameras, can they get me out here? I'll just move it down lower. We start, you guys face me. Face me. Come on out here. You may need to move that screen. Somebody may need to move it. Okay, here's what I want you guys to do. What we do, we'll have two offensive guys standing right here and the coach in the middle with the ball. And when I say stance, you break down. Remember, we're forcing everything to the box defensively. So this guy will take a stance right like this. Which way will you take your stance? You're forcing to the box. You force into that box. There you go. Now, what we have them do is this. They work on defensive slides. You guys are going to slide all the way to the sideline. You're going to touch. You're going to go right across here. And then you're going to close out under control. Okay? When they get to this point, the coach throws the ball to the offensive guy, and we play 2-on-2 from half court. So it looks something like this. We won't have the offensive guys, but you guys get ready when I say stance. Go. Don't cross your feet. Don't cross your feet. Close out under control. Stay down. Stay down. Which way are you forcing? Good. I would then toss it to an offensive guy. We'd play 2-on-2. Okay, so what we do is work on the footwork, then we come up and we play it live. And that's pretty hard to defend people 2-on-2 from half court. But it's a pretty good drill. We like to use it. And it helps our footwork and our quickness, closing out and all that.
What do you call it?
We just call that two-man defensive slides. Okay, here, grab a ball. You both need a ball. I'll show you some of the offensive moves we do. And I don't know how it is with your officials in your leagues, but one of the moves that's becoming obsolete, and we've just about quit teaching it's the crossover move. And the reason is every official in the country, I don't know why, but they all call it traveling. And it is easy to travel in a crossover move. Because what people do, they fake here, then they go there. And that's traveling. But what has happened, the referees have taken this move right here away from kids. So we don't work on it very much anymore, simply from that standpoint. And in our offense, we don't go a lot of one-on-one anyway. So it's really not that, doesn't fit into what we do that much. But what we do a lot of, we want to encourage our guards. You may tell your guards to take everything to the hole. Well, we do, as long as the defensive man does not have the angle. But what we like to see our guards do is come down in transition. First of all, next year, they're going to have guards that can pull up and shoot the three. Now, as a player, the three-point line came in. I had 2 years left with Spirit Express when the three-point line came in. And I didn't play with it up until that point. And so what I did in 2 years is made up for 10 years, and I didn't get to shoot it. So I shot it every time I touched it. But one thing that I really enjoyed about shooting the three-pointer was coming down off the break. That was an easier shot for me than if I was moving around the perimeter. If I was coming down full speed and I could pull up right here, to me that was an easier three than any other shot from the three-point line. So what we do, we work on that some for guys that can shoot the three. Now, here's Coach Sutton's philosophy, and I don't know if this has ever been mentioned this weekend, but it really needs to be. We will not allow a player to shoot a shot that we don't believe he can hit 50% of the time. That's the rule. And the way we determine that is through preseason practice. We chart everything. We have a manager that charts every shot during practice in a scrimmage type situation, and even in our shooting drills. Because what we want to make sure if we've got a guy and this is his range, then that's his range. We don't let him shoot out here because we want to hit 50% as a team. That's our goal, and the only way you can do that is if you take shots you can hit 50% of the time. So we're not going to let centers shoot three-pointers. By the same token, we really don't want some of our guards posting up. That wouldn't be a 50% shot for them because they'll get it blocked. But what we do, if you can shoot the three, we're going to let you shoot the three. And next year, they got a couple of guys that can really stroke it, and they'll be a better shooting team next year than they were this year. Now, they may not be as good defensively, but they ought to be able to shoot the ball. But here's a couple things we do. First of all, we'll start here at half court. I want you guys just to drive the ball to the elbow, pull up, and shoot a jump shot. Okay? We'll have a coach right here. Just come to a good jump stop, shoot the ball. Come on. Once again, we talk about quickness. These guys are taking 2 or 3 dribbles. See if you can get here. That's better. Good. You don't want to float. Okay? Now, the next thing we will do out of that, this time I want you to come up, act like you're going to pull up. Just a hesitation move, something like this. I hope this thing doesn't fall off, but I'm coming right here. Act like I'm going to pull up. Hesitation, take it on to the goal. Because what you'll find, as you start getting a reputation for pulling up for jumpers, people will close out under control. So here he comes. Just hesitate, right like that. Good. But see, he did a good little thing there too, and that's the next part of it, where he fakes a crossover dribble. Just a fake inside out. I've got right here, basically all you do is just drop your shoulder. You don't even have to move the ball. And what that does, it makes me think he's going to the inside, and we teach that also. I'm coming right here. What I do, I just drop my shoulder like I'm going to the inside, but still my weight is on the outside, which allows me to keep my balance and just keep my stride. So I'm coming right here. I just drop the shoulder on around. If you got some good quick guards, that's a really nice move. Okay, come on. Drop that shoulder. See if you get it. Good. Good. Little hesitation move. Okay, come on, one more time. Okay? Good. Okay? Now, this time we'll take them a little bit deeper. And we're going to let you cross over. You're going to come right here. You're going to cross over dribble, and we want you to go right here on a dime. Pull up. The reason we don't take the ball to the bucket that often, now that move we did, because that's just whipping a guy one-on-one. So many people these days are taking the charge. And in college, at least, sometimes the basket counts. I know in high school they wipe it out. But we would really rather our guys be under control, take the high percentage shot. Hey, this is a good shot as a layup. It should be. And if you can't hit that shot, then you got problems anyway. So this time you're going to drive it hard. When you cross over, when you teach a crossover, the way we teach it is this. What a lot of times people do, they cross over like this. We tell them to pull the ball back toward their body. So I'm going right here, and I pull the ball. That way, it cannot be stolen because the hand, if I'm on this guy and I cross over right there, then he can steal it. But if I come right here, it's a little quick dribble, pull it back to my body, and I've protected it. It's away from the defense. And that's the way we teach that. Right here. You're going to drive it hard at me, cross over. I want you to pull up and shoot a jump shot at the dotted line. Okay? Pull up. Dotted line. Okay, come a little deeper this time. Good. Now, the whole time we're doing this, we're talking to them. If they miss 2 or 3 in a row and no one's hitting, we'll start talking about concentration. You got to think. You got to see the rim, put the ball in the hole. You know, a lot of people don't like to talk about the shots. We don't get into your elbows out, all that stuff, because that may screw them up. Now, if they have some mechanical problems, we're going to take them before practice or after practice and work on their form or whatever. But right there, we want to encourage them. We'll say such terms as everybody hits, nobody misses. And just positive reinforcement continually getting them to drill. And then we may say, okay, let's see how many we can hit in a row. You probably do the same things, but all these are positive feedback to them that we want them to be successful. We want the ball to go in the hole, okay? Another thing we do offensively, I was trying to think of, is what we call some people call the step through. When I was growing up, we always called it the roll move because we roll the ball. But what you're going to do this time, you're going to dribble up here, come to a jump stop, fake the shot, step through, shoot it in the hole. Some people call it the step through. The key to that is keep the ball up. Where people make this mistake, they jump stop, and then they go. And they'll take the ball away from you. Now, Coach Self probably showed you this move on the post. Kevin McHale, the greatest to probably ever do it. Fake, step through. It's the same move, except on the perimeter. I come to a jump stop. Once again, the reason we jump stop so we can pivot off either foot. Whichever way the defense dictates is the way you're going to pivot. So I come to jump stop. I fake, step through, roll the ball right here in front of my face, keep it up high, and shoot it in the hole. Go to the inside. Good. Okay, good. I think these guys have done that move before. We go both sides of the floor when we do this. Both sides of the floor. And then we do a lot of shooting. The drill we showed you the other day that we spend a lot of time with our guards, what we call our step-up jumpers, where they're walking in here, the coach is up there with the ball, take their man in, curl right off of it, catch and shoot. Do a lot of that. What we did a lot of this year, and you could rotate if you have enough baskets, but since we had our red shirts that we're not going to be playing in games, we allowed our three really good guards on the outside, our three starters, they would just shoot three-pointers, and those other guys would be in there rebounding, just kicking them out to them. Just shooting it. Getting them a lot of shots. Another drill we use is, we just call it the fan drill, F-A-N. You guys step right over here. What we will do, we'll have all these spots filled. We'll have a guy in the corner, a guy on the wing, and a postman. The same thing on this side of the floor. We'll have a guy in the corner, guy on the wing, and a postman. The ball is fed to the postman. I'll tell you what, let's do. Why don't we step out? We need, I'll say, we need 3 more people. I want to show you this because this is a good drill. Especially if you face a lot of zones, this is a good drill to run. Go ahead and be in the corner. You go ahead and be on the post. Help me out in the corner there. The guys who are shooting the ball in this drill are the wingmen. Start the ball in the corner. And what we're doing is this right here. We're feeding the post. We will also sometimes use the postman, but most of the time we use this drill just with the guards. But the postmen know when we work on zone offense or even man offense, this is one of their options, one of their looks. When the ball comes in right here, we step toward our target, we fan the ball, take the jump shot. Okay? Now, okay, we're going to run the drill. You're going to feed him and do the same thing. Then you guys are going to rotate like this. Okay? So after he shoots the ball, you're going to this corner. You're moving up. Okay? So here we go. Step towards your target. Big men will rebound the ball and put it back in if it's missed. Here you go. You shoot. Rotate. I'm rebounding the ball. We're putting it back in. We're finishing everything. Step towards the target. Like Coach is doing right there, that's exactly right. We tell our guys to step in toward the ball. As that ball's coming, be ready to shoot. And there's nothing that bothers me more than a guy who stands like this, throw him in the ball, then he catches, then he gathers himself and gets ready to shoot. It's wasted motion, and it'll cost you a shot when you ought to be able to get it off. I'm telling you, if the guy is hungry to shoot, he more than likely is going to make the shot. If I'm right here, I see this thing's coming, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to shoot the ball. And that's what we tell our guys, be ready to shoot the ball, because even if you're ready and they close out into control, you may be able to go around them. Okay, let's go a couple more times. Step toward the target. Good pass. Good. Step toward my target. Okay. All right, hold up. That's the fan drill. Fan the ball drill. We really look to the offside a lot, especially against the zone, but even against a man-to-man too. And let me just say this. This is one of the principles of our man offense that maybe I left out yesterday. But what we do, if the ball comes in from this man right here, the last place I'm going to throw the ball is back here. That's the last place I want to go. My looks are this. First of all, if there's a high post man, I'm looking for him diving. Because anytime we have a double post, the ball goes low, we dive to the goal, trying to take the defense with him. That's my first look. My second look is to the offside. Why? Because the defense is all on this side. So if I can throw opposite, we may have something going on over there. The next look is this man, and my last look is this man. But Coach Sutton really gets upset if I'm posting and I do that, because it really hadn't helped. Really hadn't helped that much at all. This guy's rule anyway, once he hits against man-to-man, is to split. He's going to split. We will go back after a split because a screen has taken place and we'll have a shot. But we want the defense to have to move. Any questions on that drill? That's a pretty good drill. You can get a lot of shooting in, and it's real game condition. Okay, here's something else we work on. Use you guys in this. We work on splitting the trap, because when you get pressed, a lot of times you don't know how to handle a trap situation. So here we are. I'll be the guy getting trapped. You throw the ball in, please. Go ahead and guard him. Okay? You and I are on offense. You guys are on defense. Okay? What we will do, we'll do this right here. We'll do it either side. You start over here, and you come and screen for me. Scoot down just a little bit to get a better angle. Okay, come and screen this man. We're just going to walk through it. We let this guy catch it, and we don't want to catch the ball here in the corner. But if we do, which will happen sometimes, we have to know how to handle the trap. Okay, you guys come and trap. You take away the middle. You just guard the middle. The first thing you tell them is to stay low. The strength of the trap is high. The strength of the trap is up there in their hands. They're trying to keep me from splitting them. I'm trying to split them. What we want to do is stay low right here. Let's come on and trap. If we can, step through the trap. And we work on that. Stepping through the trap. If you get your shoulders by the guy, you got the trap beat. But the big thing is not to do this. And a lot of people make this mistake. There's the strength of the trap. I can't throw it. And even right here, I can't throw it. If I'm down here, now, if I need to, I can raise up. But just to pass. So the strength of the trap is high. We say stay low, and we work through stepping through those traps. Okay? I got the ball here. Open up a little bit so I can step through. We step just like that. Stay low. Step through the trap. Bust through it. You know, sometimes the ref might call an offensive foul. We'll take our chances. We don't want to just bull through there, but a lot of people don't do a real good job. What happens too, guys get real, if I'm down here, they play the ball. I start over here, he starts going for the ball, I can come through there and get the ball back to this man.
Always try to play one, just play off of one of them. Try to outfake one of them.
Right, so you don't go against both of them. That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay? We do a lot of 3-on-3 block out with our guards because we find our guards are weak rebounders from time to time. First of all, they never rebound on the offensive end because we have them get back. On the defensive end, too many times, they're wanting to slip out, get out here for the outlet. And you guys have seen your guards do that. Shots taken. Maybe this guy takes the shot, and I just kind of, because I'm ready for the outlet, and the ball bounces right back there. So we work a lot on 3-on-3 block out and to make sure we got the basketball before we start trying to fast break. Okay? Okay, here's another thing we do. Let's get like we're playing 3-on-3. We'll line up like we're playing 3-on-3. You take the ball, I'm going to guard you. If you play a team, you know, yesterday we were talking about the passing game, 3 out, 2 in, and you'll play teams like we play Oklahoma, and Oklahoma, basically all they do is put 2 guys on the block, 3 guys on the perimeter, and they don't even screen. They just interchange. And what they're trying to do, they feel like they're good enough athletes that they can do that. All they try to do with these big postmen, they try to walk you up the lane and get an angle, lob right here, put the ball in the bucket. Or they'll shoot the three-pointer if you have to collapse and help too much. And that's their philosophy. They've done it for years. They've been very successful at it. But what they do, they just pass and interchange. So pass there and interchange. Okay? They just do this. Come on. Okay? Pass here and do the same thing. That's all they do. Okay. Now, come back up here. Let's switch places. So we work on this. We call just baiting them. This is we just fake and run through the passing lane. Now, I don't know what we call this exactly, but here's what we do. Go ahead and make the pass here. Go away. We start away with the guy. We turn around right here, and a lot of times they'll throw right to us. There's nothing to lose from that because we know where they're going to go. So if you play a team and they start running a pattern on you, for instance, let's say you play against a flex sometime. You may just want to do that sometime. Have this guard just start down with his man on that down screen, pop back out, and he may be able to pick that pass off. And if you steal it once or twice a game, that's not something you're going to do every possession. You'll get burned. But we do work on those things. And we'll practice this time do it and go ahead and throw the ball and let me bat it down. Okay? You know, pass, go away. It's the same thing we talked about with Coach Evans yesterday of knocking the pass down. And we always knock it down. We don't want our guys to go catch it because if I have to go catch his pass and he pump fakes, I'm out of the play. Just pump fake this time. If I have to get out there enough to catch it, I'm out of the play. But if I do this, pump fake this time. If I do that, I may still be able to recover. And also, I can knock the ball down way out here, but if I go catch, I have to have my whole body out there and expose it. So that's why we do that. Pass back here, pass, go away. Throw it this time. Knock it down and go get it. We work on that play. I'll tell you how we put that drill in. We had a player named Cornell Hatcher that just did it on his own, pretty much. And he was so good at it, we just went ahead and made a drill that our players did that, and we got a lot of passes as the season went on. We put that in probably the middle of January, and we picked off a bunch of passes that way, just because you fake, run back through the pass. Yes?
How did you call that play?
It's just an automatic. If the guy does it, you just stay with the other man. That's a good question. The question is this: how did we call the play? We didn't. What we did is if this man makes the pass and comes right here, and if you see me go right here, we just switch the play for that one time.
Like if he feels the player pushing him away, he's going to go.
He's got to read me. I mean, he's still coming, but if he sees me dart back, and a lot of times, see, if a team's running a 3 out, 2 in, and there's really no place to go, there's nothing to lose by it. If I run out here, I might be able to even get back to my man. That's a heck of a pass. If you're putting pressure on the ball, he's not going to be able to just throw it totally across court. Any questions on that? And I'm showing you these things. You may say, well, those don't seem very important, but they really were to us. They really were. Okay. I think I covered most of what we do with our guard swing drills. Y'all can have a seat. Any questions up to this point as far as anything else we do with our guards, postmen, or anything else? I think what I want to talk about for a little while here, real quick, is our zone offense. I think that's one of the things we have not discussed this weekend. And basically, our zone offense is pretty simple. And I'll tell you what we do, and then I'll show you out here on the floor. But we run an offense called permanent point, permanent post. And all that means is what it says. We have a point man who's always playing point. All he does is play right here, goes side to side. He's transporting the ball. He passes here, gets it back, comes here, just moves the ball. Our post man is permanent, too. All he's doing is playing the post. He's playing the lane area. He can play on the block. He can come here to the high post. He can go to this high post. He can go to that block. He's just playing the lane area. He is the post man. Okay? The other three guys are what we call runners. They're running. They're moving. They can go anywhere on the floor. So basically what we're running is the passing game versus the zone, except with one moderation. The point man is always the same. Now, I have played on teams before where we just ran the passing game. The point guard passed, he cut through, someone else rotated up and take the point. But if you have a good ball handler and a guy who can shoot it up here, you may want to keep him right here for a kind of a stabilizing force. But that's what we call permanent point, permanent post, and it is a passing game. Now, I'll tell you where we try to get the ball. We try, and this seems like an odd place to try to get the ball. When I first saw it, I thought, why would you want the ball here? We try to get the basketball right here as often as we can. We call this a short corner. Something else that we do, and I don't have them all memorized. I have to look at a paper when I'm talking about it. But Coach Sutton has the whole half-court area numbered. They're like circles. I do know this is called the 6-hole, and he numbers them some way, and you may want to do the same thing, but our kids understand what the 6-hole is, that this is the short corner. We try to get the basketball right here, and our philosophy behind that is this. Anytime we catch the ball on the wing, we try to make a bottom man. Now, I'm talking about playing against a 2-1-2 zone right now. 2-1-2 zone. Anytime we catch the ball right here, we are trying to make this bottom man come out and cover. The reasoning behind that is this. If I'm the bottom man and I'm having to guard, this is kind of a gray area because most people would rather cover the wing with a guard. It's easy to cover if you're right here. So we try to catch the ball when we make our pass flatter to the baseline right here. Now the defense is guarding right here. Those three runners I'm talking about, one of them sneaks right down this baseline. And then what we try to do is this. You got your post man. We usually in the zone will post somewhere around in here. We don't want them real low because we want to try to get the ball to short corner. So he's catching the ball, looking for the ball right here, posting up strong. The man in the short corner, they bounce the ball to him. Now he is behind the defense. He is behind this guy, and now he's got a 2-on-1 situation right here. A lot of times what happens, if this guy is playing him, he can pin him. If he's playing just right, he can pin him almost, and that guy takes one dribble and shoots a layup because this man's right here covering the forward. We try to get the ball right here if we can. Then what we look for is this. If you catch here, you're looking to score. You're looking maybe for the high post man. If this guy comes and helps, little bounce pass, he puts the ball in. We look for a skip pass. We are really big on skipping the ball over the zone. If we skip the ball, then a lot of times you got a 2-on-1 on that back side. I think what we'll do to show this a little better, if we could, you guys come out, and then a few more of you, if you'll come out, we'll try to get 10 people out here. You guys play offense. You four guys get in a 2-1-2 zone, and we'll put another guy in there. Reggie, once you play the middle of the zone. Okay? Okay. Guys on defense, raise your hand for me so you can see. These are the defenders. 2-1-2 zone. Okay? How many offensive guys? There's one more. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coach, you want to help us? Okay. This offense, here's our permanent point man. That's our permanent post man. These guys, when they come down, Coach Newman, he can go anywhere he wants. If he wants to start back there, that's fine. Remember something we said yesterday? I think one of the guys from Virginia, one of the college coaches from Virginia said this yesterday, something about coming from behind on the defense so they can't see it. That is very important, and we teach that as far as the zone goes. Because you guys play the ball. We're playing zone defense. Turn around there. See, right now with Coach Newman, they don't know where Coach Newman is. They don't know where he's located. And he can flash up in there. He can choose where he wants to go when he's back behind this defense. But let's say he starts right around this area. Let's make a pass right here. Here's the pass. Okay, they may try to cover with this guard, but if we come right here, that's a heck of a long way for that guard to come cover. And if that guard does come and cover right here, now make a pass right here to the elbow. Now what's he? He's got to come. Now look right here. Now look right here. Come on, you got a decision to make. You're in trouble. That's exactly what we want to do. We want flatten the zone out until we can swing the ball and get a 2-on-1. We're constantly looking for a 2-on-1. And that's one of the things about a zone that I think is tough to play. It's tough to cover everyone in a zone. Okay? So let's put the ball here. And this time, let's say you had to come cover. Okay? You'd have the high post. He'd be helping. But even there, most of the time in 2-1-2, he's going to play in this area because he's going to try to cover this point man. Because this guy is the leading three-point shooter in the world. And you got to make sure that he doesn't get shots off. Now, what we're trying to do right here is hit Coach Newman. Okay, go ahead. Now, he's got to make quick decisions, or sometimes he's going to get trapped there. He's got to make a quick decision. But right here, now, you're going to have to cover one of them. If he goes and covers right here, you got a big guy on usually a little guy. He can put the ball right here. Or, now, if these guys start collapsing, you've got to find an open window in the defense. You're not open right there. Nope, because we're not going to let you throw this pass. That's not a very good pass. But where we will let you catch the ball is this area right here. He skips it. You follow the ball. I may hit you. Coach Newman may run the baseline. I may be able to hit him, or I may be able to go right back there, throwing that ball back and forth. Now, something I forgot to tell you. Once you make the pass, you always cut through the defense. Once the runner makes a pass, he cuts through. He does not stand. Okay, so let's bring it back out and set it up. This is just a passing game, is basically all it is. So you make the pass. Okay? Maybe you can't go there this time. Come back to point. Cut through. Cut through. Okay? Coach can bounce out. You look, that's fine. Go to the baseline. We want to take the ball to the baseline. If you can't catch it in the short corner, you can step on out to the deep corner. Then what happens is this. Coach Newman can come up. You've made your pass. Where are you going? You're cutting through. He can slip down this way. If we tell our guys this, if you see that guy coming down the baseline, I've got the ball, I'm going to take one dribble up the floor, so this guy has to come and get me. Then I turn back around and hit him right there. That's what we're looking for. If you're dead in the corner, you want to take a dribble up the floor, move the defense just a little bit to open that pass up. What it does, it puts serious pressure on that back line to cover. Puts serious pressure on the back line. Any questions about that?
You don't have specific places where your runners can go to. They just go anywhere.
They can go anywhere. But we do tell them we don't want, like this year we started 3 guards. We started one that was about 5'10", one that was 6 foot, and then about 6'2". Obviously, the 6-foot guy was Sean Sutton. He played the point, so he wasn't down here. We did not want Darwin Alexander catching the ball here. He couldn't do anything with it. Corey Williams could because he was quick, he was explosive, and he could do that. And Coach Newman will remember when Coach Sutton used to have those guards at Arkansas like Darrell Walker and Alvin Robertson, Sidney Moncrief. Those guys were absolutely tremendous right here because they could catch one dribble, they were at the goal, and they could out-quick any big guy. And even
designated point people and designated posts, that's what I was thinking about sitting there, because what I remember about playing Arkansas, Coach Sutton's team, was the designated short corner players, the Darrell Walkers and the Alvin Roberts.
Yeah, and with those runners, you really can, we didn't, like this year, we didn't really designate, but it was like unsaid designation, all right? I mean, we knew that we wanted Corey with the ball. Even Byron right here, trying to get the ball. Another thing you can do out of this, is if you're using someone like a bigger guy, you can run this, let's say you got a double post, but maybe your postman is good enough, he can play some out on the perimeter too, one of your 2 postmen. When the ball is right down here, let's swing it back down here. Coach Newman has the ball. He's wound up with the ball. Okay, find the open spot. Now skip pass. If he skip pass, instead of going this time, do this right here. Do this right here. You're just going to, Coach Newman's back in the short corner. Okay? Now, go screen the bottom man. Coach Newman's going to flash. He's flashing off that screen. Now, what do you have to do? You have to go with him. Now, you turn around and look right here. Look right here. There's nobody here. What he's doing, the bottom man. Go ahead, Coach. You're going to pass again. I'm going to play your position. Step out for just a second. I'm the postman. Okay? He skips it. Look right here. And that's pretty good. Because what I'm doing, I'm pinning this guy. I'm depending on Coach Newman dragging the big man out of there, which he did, and if it's not there, that's no big deal. That goes along with what we talked about the other day, our crackdown screen. We call it a crackdown screen.
This man back here is your better player?
Well, I won't say he's a better player. What we like, he needs a combination of two things, or as far as what we try to do. He's got to have some quickness. He's got to have some strength. He's got to get to the goal. But, the big thing is you don't have a lot of time here. You got to catch and make a quick decision. Because if you hold it too long, you may get double teamed. But it can be just about anyone. You probably don't want a real small guy back here because he's going against bigger people.
For the strong kids that can get that pass quickly.
He's got to be able to pass the ball and get to the bucket quick.
An important teaching point for your passer is not to pass the basketball when the guy is still in the short corner as he's coming away. Because he catches the ball here, by the time he catches it, stops, pivots, the defense is collapsed. The passer has to wait until he gets his butt parallel to the baseline where he can make that quick decision that Coach is talking about.
That's exactly right, and that kind of goes along with what I said a minute ago. If you see that guy coming, you almost decoy. You take a dribble up the floor, drag everybody up, come back and give him the basketball. But that's a little different than what a lot of people do, and it's worked for us. Another thing we do out of the zone offense is we just run 3 guys that are stationary. Coach Newman, you play in on the post. These 2 guys are my post men. All they're basically doing, they're coming high-low, they're Xing off each other, and what I mean by that is this. The pass from the point guard comes here, you stay low. Coach Newman's flashing to the high post. Okay? Trying to get him the ball here, trying to get the ball here. Skip pass it. Now they're going to X. They're going to X. He can go low. Coach Newman can go low. Once again, we give these guys the option at any time to step to the short corner. He's posting, doesn't like the situation. He steps here. This guy takes a quick dribble, gives me the ball. Come on. Dive to the goal. It's pretty good. The guys on the perimeter's rules are this. Once they pass, they just relocate to the baseline. So if I have the ball here and I give it up to the point man, I'm just bouncing down here just to create movement. I may come right back. But at least these guys have to honor me. They got to look and see where I'm going. We don't just stand. Again, if we can, we want the bottom man to guard us because it makes it a lot easier getting the ball inside if the bottom man on the zone has to come out and guard. Any questions? Yes, we're going to attack the gaps. We are continually telling our guys to penetrate the seams. Also, in this also, if the postmen for some reason stay low, let's say the ball's right here. Let's say Coach Newman this time, he just stayed low for whatever reason. And this offside wing thinks he can flash in there. Let's say he's starting to play that pass. He thinks he can flash right there. We give him that option. If it's not there, he just backs out and resumes his position.
That happens a lot against matchup zones. When I feel a short corner here, this matchup will go with you. In a matchup zone, that is going to be open a lot, particularly when you run a short corner offense.
Questions?
Backside rebounding.
Okay.
Do you feel like pretty strong on backside rebounding out of this? Or?
Yeah, out of the first one we talked about, yeah, we do. But what we do, we designate guys to go to the boards. First of all, we only send 3. But what we try to do, for instance, if we would have our postman, first of all, let me say it out of this, and then I'll go to the other one. If we're running a 2-post, and Coach was up in here, this position, and the shot was taken, the high postman's responsibility is to get that backside. He's got to just go as hard as he can, try to get this position. Now, if we're in that short corner, when the shot is taken, the wingman can slip in there. Even if we're taking 3, let's say that man over here, give me the ball. He's designated to get out on the defensive bounce. He's supposed to be getting out. But let's say the ball comes right here, and I skip it to the point man's over there a little ways. Okay? I skip the ball to the point man. He takes the shot. We allow this guy to go. As the shot's taken, we allow him to go into this area. If he sees it's just a quick decision. If he sees there's no way I'm getting this rebound, he gets out. But we always have the point man out. Always out. But out of the other thing, we never had any problems with our offside rebound.
Anytime you shot, you still have to get back.
That's right. If he's the point man is always back. He is always the guy we get out on defense. We usually will send 2 guys back. A lot of it depends on what type of team you're playing, obviously, too. But we never really had much problem. We got a lot of putbacks out of that. Another thing, too, with those guys running, Coach, it's hard for them to know who to block out and who not to, because they can just shoot gaps a lot of times from where they're at. But the weak side, I understand what you're saying. That's the most important part of rebounding. That ball comes off that way a lot. Questions? Not that complicated. It's just, like I said, kind of a passing game. Okay? Thank you. Okay. I'm not sure what the schedule is supposed to be, but that's basically about all we had to cover. And some of you may have some ways to go or whatever, but let me just say this. I'd like, if I can answer any questions before we break up here, I'd like to do that for you. Let me say, first of all, that it's been a real pleasure for me. This is my first clinic to be a part of as far as a speaker. I've been to a few of them. Done quite a few basketball camps, which really was what we were doing, demonstrating a lot of this. But this has been a blast. We've had a very enjoyable time, and we don't claim to have all the answers, believe me. There's Coach Sutton, who always tells us as assistant coaches, he said there's many ways to get to the trophy room. There are many different ways. You see all different styles. The thing is just to find one that works for you and believe in it, and then try to teach it as well as you can, and hope things turn out for the best. But I want to echo what Bill said earlier, is that I think some of the best coaches in the country are in junior high and high schools, and not on the college level. And I say that, like I told you earlier, my father's a coach. My dad's taught me the majority of the basketball I know. And Eddie Sutton taught me some things too, but not as much about X's and O's. I learned that from my father, and we did almost exactly what Coach Sutton has done, which has been a real advantageous to me coaching with him. But, you know, he can't get a chance to coach in college because they say, quote, he doesn't have any recruiting experience. So he's still toiling away at the high school level and has enjoyed it. But I really believe that some of the greatest coaches in our country are those that get to shape the kids early. If you're a junior high coach, hey, you get them when they're raw. You can do anything. You can mess them up or make them great. And that's kind of an awesome responsibility. But I just appreciate you all and the attention that you've given us and coming up afterwards and asking questions. That makes us feel good. And I hope that we have given something to you that you can take and use. And if we can ever help you, as Bill said earlier, we'd like to. Are there any questions or any comments before I turn this back over to Coach Newman?
Can we get your address?
You bet. I got to look it up. I don't even know it yet. I thought about that, so I laid this out.
Surprised your first answer wasn't Gallagher, Iva?
Yeah. Hey, I have answered the phone at Ole Miss OSU basketball, so I've done that a couple times. It's the University of Mississippi. It takes you a while to spell Mississippi, believe me. It's TAD, T-A-D, Tad Smith Coliseum. You can just put basketball office underneath that, so they'll make sure they don't send it someplace else. And then, for some odd reason, it's University, Mississippi. So University, comma, capital M, capital S. The zip is 38677. 38677. And it doesn't say, I don't know why they don't have Oxford, Mississippi. I guess they got their own mail post office or something. Did everybody get that? University of Mississippi, Tad Smith Coliseum basketball office. University of Mississippi, 38677. If you ever have any reason to go to Mississippi, which I don't know if you will, please come by and see us. It's really a pretty nice place. It's not as bad as what people say it is, and it's really pretty there. And I've enjoyed it. We're just an hour from Memphis, so if you're ever in Memphis, you're pretty close by.
might want to encourage these young coaches to work as many basketball camps.
That's exactly right. That's a good point, Coach. If you have an opportunity to work basketball camps, maybe your own, but maybe at University of Texas, wherever, Texas Tech, wherever, take advantage of that. That's a great experience. And one of the coaches, I think it was you up there, asked me, how you get in college coaching? Well, heck, I don't know. I mean, I was just fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. But I do know that you have to know some people. And you have to, it's the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that, believe me, that's true. And I'm sure you're agreeing when you look down here at me. But I think that if the more people you can meet, the more basketball you can be around, the better coach you're going to be. And if you ever have the opportunity or would like to come and work our basketball camp, let us know. This summer it's not very good. We don't have very many because of the lateness of us getting the job, so it's going to take a while to build it up. But we would certainly like to have you. And Coach Evans has a very warm spot in his heart for the people of Texas and the state of Texas because he spent so much time here. So we would love to help you if we can. Coach?
Let's give Russ a big hand.